Hey guys, continuing our Iamblichus' Exhortation to Philosophy, chapter 9. The chapter continues. In the previous video I explained the first part of it. Now Iamblichus says, nature essentially creates things, okay? And he says there are three ways in which things can be created by nature. A thing can be created perfect, and I understand that he means by this that a thing is created and it fills its purpose. That's how I understand what he means by perfect. Then he says a thing may need help, and for this, for example, humans can help out. So he gives an example of a seed. Nature creates a seed, but the seed falls on the side of the road. And so the seed may need help to grow, or it will not grow. And nature can create a thing and the thing fails. The result is a failure. And I understand by this is that, for example, a seed that falls on the rock and it will not grow there, nothing happens. He says, now let's look at how nature creates beings. And he says there are essentially two types of beings nature creates. There's the animals and there's men. And he says the way the animals are created by nature, they do not really need help compared to men. So an animal is born and the animal starts to, from the birth, it survives, for example. Understandably, not all animals survive at birth, but generally, an animal survives and it evolves, it grows and it's fine. It doesn't really need much more help from any external forces or anything like that. With the man, the situation is very different. Even at the very process of birth, man already needs a lot of help, and he needs different types of arts to help him for the birth to take place. Okay, there's specific things that need to be done, a specific art, for example. Then as the baby is growing, there's other arts and so forth. So compared to animals, man is very different. Many arts are needed to help the man evolve and survive, essentially. And of course, as we see along the course of this book, to fulfill the purpose with which the man is born. So this is what essentially what he is saying in that part of the chapter. Now, as usual, write in the comments how you interpret this. What do you understand by this? What I understand by this is that, firstly, man is not exactly an animal, and otherwise he would fall into this category. He would not need all these types of different arts. So what I understand by this is logically, a man is not quite created by nature. Let's say it, that's how I understand it. Or at least he's not created by nature in the same way that animals are. That's one side of it. Secondly, if many arts are needed to help the man, then naturally, philosophy, one of the highest art, let's say, is essential to help the man find his purpose, what he's here to do. If with animals it's very easy, and let's say an aggressive animal is born, a tiger, that's it. As the baby grows, it learns what is necessary to fulfill its purpose of being a tiger. But with the man, we do not quite see this. If we study philosophy and we look at the outside world, we see that many people, as they live their life, they feel meaningless. They feel their lives are meaningless. Some people even kill themselves. This is very strange situation. It shows us that possibly the man does not fulfill his purpose. He needs to know how to fulfill his purpose. And for that we need to study philosophy, because philosophy is the study of causes, of the highest of causes. So naturally, once the man realizes what caused him, with what how he causes things and so forth, and he climbs higher and higher up, he can then fulfill his design. This is one way to look at it, but there's many different ways to look at it. There's contra-arguments of how this can be looked at. Second thing that I understand from this is we need to study different arts that relate to this creature that we call man. And essentially these arts are at least the art of healthy diet, because the way the world is organized right now, there's a lot of unhealthy food around. The governments do not, let's say, they do not go far enough to make sure that we only eat healthy food, or that only healthy food is available. So a lot of junk and unhealthy food is available. A lot of destructive things are available in terms of what we can eat and what we can drink and so forth. So to better fulfill our purpose, at least part of that purpose, at least on the physical level, so the body is healthy, we need to study at least one of the arts, which is healthy diet. Second, of course, would be what we often see in Platonism is things like gymnastics and the structure and flexibility of the body, and how to make sure the body does not go stale, that it is exercised, and so forth. So we see we need to study many arts. That's what I understand from this. And of course, the highest of arts is philosophy, simply because it is the art of causes. And all the other arts are kind of compared to philosophy. They're effects of the higher causes. So it would naturally make sense to study that which is the highest, which is the first cause, at least before we study the effects of those causes. And this is the argument we also see often in the Exhortation to Philosophy text. That's it. Thank you guys for your time. I will meditate now for 15 seconds, and YouTube will show you a new video if you want to watch it.